Hey baes, it's Rissa May. Today I'm going to be talking about how to be your own best friend in 10 different ways, so let's get into it. Number 1 is journaling. Journaling has just been a big part of my life. I've done it probably every day since I was about 14, give or take a few weeks or days or whatever. I just didn't write, but these are 3 journals packed full of stuff that I go through every single day. This is my current journal now. Throughout all of these journals, I've thought about different things that I wanted to write, and basically just writing down everything that happened in your day is just a really good way to get to know yourself, what you like, what you don't like. It's a very, very quick way to get to know yourself, and I like it a lot. Number 2 is the 2 feet mirror rule. When I was about 14, I moved into the basement, not this basement, but in my old house, and I had full-length mirrors for closet doors, and every single day, this was like a very prominent time in my life, you know, because it's like middle school, but you're also going into high school next year, so your emotions and your hormones were just all over the place, you know, so originally it wasn't good to start with, but because of those mirrors, I was constantly being like this close to the mirror, and you know, I was thinking when I was writing these down, I was like, you really, when you want to become your own best friend, you want to treat yourself like you're an actual separate human being. So if I was talking to you and I was this close and being like, you have a pimple on your face, why don't you pop that? Like, that's not cool. You know, that's weird and not socially acceptable, you know? So treat yourself with the same respect that you treat other people. With the 2 feet mirror rule. So when you're in front of a mirror, stand about 2 feet away, and that is the closest you can get. This is about 2 feet. Where I can't see any of my blemishes in the mirror, and I can still look pretty, even from 2 feet away. Like, if I'm standing here, I still look pretty, right? Or, if you wanted to go COVID style, 6 feet, which is honestly, when you're first starting to like really love yourself, I would give more distance, just because, you know, the closer you get, the more you'll find wrong with yourself until you learn how to appreciate being up close. And this is what happened when I moved out, and I moved to this new house upstairs where I didn't have a mirror for a year, except for in the bathroom. And when I was in the bathroom, the counter was in the way, so I only had so much distance from the mirror before, you know, I would run into the counter. And that was really good. For me, it kept me like focused on the right things and made me realize that inner beauty is more important than outer beauty, and you can look beautiful, and you do look beautiful from farther away. Everybody's gonna look more beautiful from far away, but if I'm talking to you and I'm this far away, I look great. Like, you can't see my acne, you can't see nothing. But if I'm this close, you can see. So, yeah. And tip number 3 is it's okay to laugh at yourself. I laugh at myself all the freaking time. Before high school, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so weird, you know, like when I would do something, I'd just be embarrassed of myself, and I'd be like hiding in a corner and being like, oh my gosh, what is my personality? I'm so weird. Like, I was just so conscious of it. But now that I like learned to love myself, I just laugh at myself all the time. Like at some point, you just gotta learn to let go and just laugh at yourself. And I do it every day, and it makes time more fun. And again, treating yourself like a separate person. If I was your best friend and I was laughing at you, we have such a better time than if I'm like, that was really weird what you just did. Like, you should never do that again, right? Like, it's funnier when you're laughing at each other. So don't be afraid to laugh at yourself. Tip number 4 is a little thing that I've been working on since the new year. It's actually one of my New Year's resolutions, but I will talk about that in another video of my 2022 New Year's resolutions and goals. It's a self-love wall. Basically, what I do on the self-love wall is I will write down something about myself that I loved that day, like you were a hard worker, or you looked beautiful, or something like that. And I'll just write it down on a sticky note, and I'll stick it on the wall with a picture of me in the middle. And all the sticky notes, I write one every single day. So the sticky notes will build up around the picture. And it just, like, it's a good reminder that you need to compliment yourself. You can't be fishing for other people to compliment you. You need to compliment yourself. Reason number 5 is connecting yourself to something. This can happen a lot with like a religion or something, but I'm not going to be pushing religion on you. I just want you to think outside the box. In this situation, like for me, it's God, obviously, because I'm religious, but things like meditation, exercise, just something that you can find peace in, that you can really connect to. So exercise, meditation, journaling even. Journaling can be one. Like anything you can think of that you connect with. People do zodiac signs, like the astrology stuff. That's great. I love that for you. Whatever you can connect with is going to be great for building that foundation and that relationship with yourself. Number 6 is something that you hear all the time. Don't compare yourself to others. It's super blatant. We all know, but we all do it anyways. This is a tip that I have for you guys. You don't have to follow it, but taking a break from social media. Even now, I barely ever look at Instagram. Like I have it and I'll look at posts and I'll look at stories of people that I like keep up with and I actually want to see what they're doing in their lives. That's the only time that I look at Instagram, is to look at their posts and look at the stories of people that I actually know and follow and want to see what's happening in their lives. That's it. And I like rarely ever use Snapchat, and I don't use Facebook unless I'm like really bored at work and I'm just like scrolling on my phone, you know. But that's pretty much it for social media. And I think that's really important when trying to love yourself, is taking a step back from social media, because if you're not exposed to people that you could compare yourself to, then you will probably be better off. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, I won't compare myself to them, like I'm pretty the way I am, but we all do it in the back of our heads. So it's better to just step back, and that's okay to step back, and it's okay to go back in once you take a step back for a minute, but take a step back, breathe, and remember your value. And tip number 7, always talk to yourself like you're another person when insulting yourself. So an example is, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so ugly. Imagine if you said that to somebody else. You're like, wow, you're really ugly. And you meant it and they could tell that you mean it. That is so breaking down on them, and it's breaking down on you, and that is what's tearing you down. So talk to yourself positively, and if you ever talk to yourself negatively, just think, what if I were talking to another person? How would that come off? Would I come off as a jerk? And would I be hurting their feelings? The answer is always going to be yes, and that is what you're doing to yourself. Reason number 8 is never use the words alone or lonely, because that will actually make you feel like you're alone or lonely. Once you start saying these words, even if you're saying them jokingly, you're going to start to believe it. So don't say them at all, even if you're joking. You are not lonely. You have yourself. You are your own best friend. Go you. Reason number 9 is to forget about the past. Everything that happened in the past is garbage. We don't think about the person that we were in the past, because that will just hold us back from what we are capable of doing. And it's not good for us to be like, oh my gosh, I hate when I did that, because then you're like, oh my gosh, what if I do it again? And you're just caught up in trying to keep yourself as perfect as possible when perfect isn't a reality. So just be yourself and don't reflect on the past. Tip number 10, the final tip I have for you guys: treat yourself. Get face masks, take a bubble bath, shave your legs. I mean, even shaving my legs, I'm like, oh, I'm treating myself. Like, my legs are so soft. So even just doing simple things like that, or like playing around with makeup when you have free time, just making yourself feel beautiful, dressing up just for fun. Like, dressing up isn't just for little kids. We can dress up too. Even if we're just gonna dance around our room, it's okay to dress up because it's fun and you feel good about yourself. 10 out of 10 recommend. Something that I always do is when I get home from work, if I'm just feeling like really gross and groggy and just not good, I'll take a bath. Taking a bath is so nice. I love taking baths. It just makes you feel so clean and refreshed and warm and cozy, and you can watch a movie or you can read a book while you're in the bath. So it's just a time to relax and rewind. So this has been 10 tips on how to be your own best friend. If you guys have any more ideas, please let me down below, and maybe I'll make a part 2 someday. We'll see. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to follow my Instagram and my TikTok, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Head in the clouds.